Summer is winding down and Central Texas water parks are only open a few more weeks. But safety is still something you'll want to keep in mind when you take your family to these places. A system to report injuries is supposed to hold parks accountable and help prevent future danger. But KXAN Investigator Lindsay Bramson discovered not all parks are reporting their injuries to the state, and some don't have to.
As New Braunfels' biggest tourist destination, some say Schlitterbahn is the world's best water park.
It was about time for us to have a family vacation. Looking very forward to it.
A ride called the Cliffhanger came first for Carolyn Watts and her family, July 4th weekend, 2012.
So we said, we'll start here. We went and got our tube. We'll start here.
And that's where it ended, too, as Watts got off the ride.
And my foot just flipped over and broke both bones in my ankle.
Undercover video shot by our producer from inside the park shows the ride up close. It also shows a map like the one Watts says caused her injury.
See how it's just floating in the water? It's not actually glued to the ground or anything. My foot got caught up underneath that.
Now she's suing the park, saying it could have prevented her ongoing pain.
Arthritis in my ankle, pain in my ankle for the rest of my life. I have screws and a plate in my ankle on both sides.
Schlitterbahn declined our request for an interview, but did respond to our questions by email. We asked about safety at the park. A spokesperson wrote back, "We have certified EMTs staffed in the park, and our lifeguards are trained to provide basic first aid." We asked about Watts' injuries and whether they report injuries on that ride to the state. The response, the Cliffhanger is not the type of ride that the Texas Department of Insurance requires reporting.
One of our duties is to administer the Amusement Ride Act, so we do regulate amusement rides in Texas.
Why aren't some places reporting their injuries to you?
We implement the laws that are on the books that are passed by the legislators, and that's the extent of our authority.
By law, TDI can only require parks to report injuries if the ride is mechanical, like go-karts or roller coasters. Floating rides, like the Cliffhanger, aren't on that list. But KXAN discovered some parks are breaking the law by not reporting injuries they're required to. A lawsuit filed against Hawaiian Falls Water Park in Pflugerville details an injury on this ride, which has a mechanical system to pump water. The woman in the suit says she slammed into a metal pole at the end of the slide. The state had no record of that injury until we started asking.
In the event that we haven't promoted it or put it to TDI, we'll rectify that immediately.
Hawaiian Falls has since reported the incident and says it only reopened the ride after a full inspection.
Our goal is to always bring it back into compliance. We're never trying to go outside of the boundaries.
But Watts says the state should know about all injuries at water parks, no matter the type of ride.
Because I don't want this to happen to anybody else. It's not right what happened.
Lindsay Bramson, KXAN Investigates.
We first told you last spring how some Texas amusement parks don't have to report injuries. Our investigation revealed an injury at an Austin indoor trampoline center called Jump Street. But this type of place is not on the list legally required to report. The injuries the state does receive are posted on a website for people to see to gauge a park's safety record. We have a link on our website, KXAN.com. But after we brought it to his attention, one state lawmaker is looking at the possibility of requiring all parks to report injuries on any ride. John Frullo is the head of the House Insurance Committee. He says he's asked for lawmakers to study the issue ahead of the next legislative session in 2017, which could lead to a bill to address this safety concern. During our investigation, we also discovered the Texas Department of Insurance does not have the authority to go after or penalize parks that fail to report as required. The law only says the agency must record the injuries that are reported because of our questions. Frullo tells us he'll be looking at that issue as well.